I
Do you want? Okay.
Hello, everyone. Wow. Yeah, so we need to start on time. I know it's a bit early today, but because I wanted to make to allow a few important people to make a few comments before starting formally the conference. So I introduce Paola Del Negro, head of OGS, so my institute, National Institute of Oceanography and Applied Geophysics. And she will introduce a bit our activities.
Thanks a lot. Welcome in Trieste. It is a great honor for me to participate in the start of this important conference that we have the pleasure to hosting in Trieste. This city, located in the northeasternmost part of the Mediterranean, stands out for being the home of many research centers. Oh, is here, okay. Of many research centers and university. The number of researchers per capita is very high, and Trieste system of research is very attractive for students and for researchers. It is important to remember that Trieste has been to research from 1750, when Empress Maria Theresa of Austria established the Institute of Astronomy, the School of Astronomy and Navigation, to support the activities of our port, the harbor. Also, the origin of OGS date back to 1753. Studies on astronomy and oceanography then develop, and in consideration of the seismicity of this area, also seismological studies strongly develop. OGS collect the result of these studies, and now our activities are oriented on oceanography, geophysics, and seismology. Our institute is organized in two sections, two departments, and two centers, Center for Seismological Research and Center for Management of Maritime Infrastructures. Our missions are well-defined, and a fil rouge that connects the mission is the multidisciplinarity. The mission regards seas and oceans, polar areas, natural hazards, Earth interior, and open science. The most important infrastructure of OGS is the research vessel Laura Bassi, an Italian icebreaker available for all the Italian polar community, but also for the entire foreign community of researchers. The Institute coordinates the participation of Italy at three important European research infrastructures. Argo is an international program that uses profiling floats to observe oceans. ExCeL is the European carbon dioxide capture and storage laboratory infrastructure, and PRACE, a new partnership for advanced computing in Europe. OGS participates also to other European research infrastructures and show a high level of consultancy of international organization. It is important to put in evidence the coordination of 5+5 Euro-Mediterranean dialogue. At higher level education, OGS, in collaboration with the University of Trieste, organized a master on sustainable blue development, and also an advanced school on blue growth in Mediterranean and Black Sea. Once again, I would like to underline my enormous satisfaction in hosting this conference in Trieste. And before wishing you all good luck with your work, please let me thank Florence Colony for the organization, commitment, energy she has put into this adventure. Good work.
Thanks, Paola. So now I will welcome Fausto Ferraccioni that will present our Italian National Antarctic Program.
Well, it's a real pleasure to welcome you all here. I've seen many friends and many new faces. I think this is a fantastic thing. We have here the opportunity to really do some interdisciplinary science. And here I've put up the name of the president of the Italian Antarctic Committee, who unfortunately is at another meeting, so he asked me to very briefly present to you the Italian Antarctic Program that has a very long tradition, actually goes back to 1985 when the Italian base was first put in Terra Nova Bay, which, by the way, is a fantastic place to go to. So please try and use this week's opportunity to develop new collaborations with Italy to come and see it. And I'd rather put up this slide, which I rather like, because this shows you how we get to Antarctica with the Italian Antarctic Program. But there's another reason why I put this slide up, because I think it shows you the golden triangle of opportunity. So there's basically real large opportunity here to work on both the East Antarctic ice sheet and the West Antarctic ice sheet from Mario Zucchelli. Huge opportunity to do further exploration in the interior of East Antarctica to look at the largest ice sheet left on Earth, the East Antarctic ice sheet. And of course, we have huge opportunities to look at the margin of the East Antarctic ice sheet from Dumont d'Urville, where, of course, a lot of the action on ice sheets actually happens. That said, I had to show you this photograph. This is Mario Zucchelli Station. This is named from the former leader of the Italian Antarctic Program, who I'm very grateful to, because he's actually one of the people who threw me into this fantastic black hole that is Antarctic research. And I have to say, this is, probably the French will be disappointed with me on this claim, but I think this is probably the best restaurant in the whole of Antarctica. Speaking of that, probably this gets quite close again, Concordia. This is quite a tough place to be, but it's a real opportunity, really, as I said, for exploration. And of course, there are huge programs that are going on here as well. I'll mention one later. So our Director General, Paolo Del Negro, was saying that OGS, of course, is now managing a key infrastructure for the Italian Antarctic Program, Laura Bassi. This is a huge opportunity, again, for interdisciplinary research, tying together oceanography, marine geology, and geophysics, and perhaps in the future also a tool that could be used for exploration of coastal regions. I wanted to put this up because it goes back to my starts in Antarctic research, where the Italian Antarctic Program was involved in the Cape Roberts project. And again, I think this is the sort of framework, really, that perhaps, who knows, might also come out of activities such as INSTANT. Of course, I had to close with this, looking into the current activities beyond EPICA. EPICA was really a major result where Italy was involved, a major project, sorry. And after this, of course, is beyond EPICA, looking at searching for the oldest ice. And it's this type of really large, ambitious type of projects that I think perhaps INSTANT will help launch. So with that, thank you all for coming. I wish you all a really productive week. And if you have some brilliant ideas of how to involve the Italian Antarctic program, please come and speak to me, and I will relay them to the right people. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, so I hope you all get a cup of coffee before coming, because now we will start the real thing, so marathon of 4 days. So Tim and I will now present the INSTANT program and the organization of the conference. So Tim, please start.
Buongiorno, ciao, good morning, good day for you Australians, and kia ora koutou katoa from Aotearoa, New Zealand. So everyone welcome, wonderful to see you. I think Flo and I, you really notice that we haven't been in 3 dimensions, and we're, just over the last day, the initial side meetings, which have been great, some of the excursions and the wonderful icebreaker last night is just great to be all together. We have our community all together, so really, really warm welcome. Fausto, thank you for reminding me of Cape Roberts. That's where my entry into Antarctic research happened as well, so it seems a long time ago now. Okay, so we want to warmly welcome you, which we've done, to a very warm Trieste, but apparently Europe's been warmer this year, I've been told. So, wow, yeah, I can't imagine what 35 or 40 degrees is like. To get on with it, so I'm going to briefly just remind you what INSTANT is and what INSTANT is hoping to achieve, and then Flo will talk a little bit more about the program, what we're going to do this week, some of the outcomes we might expect and work towards together. So INSTANT has had an evolution over 20 or 30 years within SCAR. It's probably, it is the largest and most ambitious research program that SCAR's put together. It evolved from the paleoclimate community, and then when these 3 research programs up here finished, the ambition was to be more interdisciplinary, to bring the science to focus on issues that are important to humanity in terms of the climate crisis and what we're dealing with. So these 3 programs, a Solid Earth Ice Interactions program, an Antarctic Climate Interactions program, and an Ice Sheet Dynamics program, joined together to form the INSTANT program, which has a perspective that goes from the past, the present, and through to the future. So it's really great to see new faces here from different communities who are perhaps working on contemporary climate change, Antarctic change, and interested in projections and what might happen in the future. And ultimately our goal is bridging with society, addressing that very important question is, what is the Antarctic ice sheet going to contribute? How much is it going to contribute to future sea level? And why is that important? And there's a whole user stakeholder community that we'll bring together as well. We're trying to bring together, and Day 4 is very much focused at that application end of the impacts and dealing with future sea level rise and the uncertain contribution from the Antarctic ice sheet. So, those are some of the features really about coordinating. We don't have a lot of money in SCAR, but we work with partners such as CLIC and the WCRP. They are here. Some of their groups will be meeting in sessions, and we really encourage that you go to some of their sessions and get outside of your comfort zone a little bit and learn what other groups are doing and why that matters for what you're doing and the ultimate question we're trying to answer. So you can see we're about organising workshops, and it's been hard with COVID. So it's awesome to have this conference. Of course, big emphasis here is acquiring key data sets from critical parts of the Antarctic margin so we can improve our understanding of process and improve the performance of our models that we use also for future projections. And then linking that through communication and engagement, which you'll hear about during the meeting. There's a nice social science component to this group, and so sort of linking that to the issues we're all facing with sea level rise and climate change. So there we go, that's the reason we're here. This is the motivation really for what we're doing, in that the sea level problem is really an Antarctic ice sheet problem and a lack of understanding of the key rate determining processes. So that's our focus, to try and, if not reduce the uncertainty, to understand better the uncertainties around the future contribution of the Antarctic ice sheet. So we do that by taking a past, present and future approach. We do it through an integrated systems approach, so that's why it's broken up into themes, and Flo will talk more about that. But the ocean and the atmosphere interactions, the solid Earth with the ice sheet, and then ultimately trying to get a better idea of the mass contribution. Yeah, won't dwell on that. So that's our structure for those of you who have been to the website and had a look. Theme 1, the oceans and the atmosphere, the climate and how that's interacting with the ice sheets, particularly the margins of the ice sheets, the ice ocean and the ice atmosphere. And then theme 2, focusing more on the solid Earth, and what that may or may not do as the ice sheet changes. And then theme 3, working on trying to improve the ice sheet projections and working with the sea level community to have those ice sheet mass projections better integrated into sea level projections. And then day 4, of course, is where in the triangle in the middle there is where we we see it as a really important part of where Instant is heading. And we've got some wonderful speakers that come from a range of backgrounds interested in this issue. And so, yeah, hopefully on day 4 it all comes together and you see why some fundamental research you might be doing on one aspect of this system is so important to the bigger picture. So, what do we hope to achieve? Well, obviously we need to make progress together, and this week is an opportunity to talk about collaborations and how we're going to do it, but to improve understanding of the key processes, the feedbacks, the interconnections, to develop collaborations, not just within your groups. Then there's a lot of groups meeting here, different subcommittees, and both within SCAR and outside of SCAR, but to go to other people's meetings and to try and get a feel for what they're doing, develop collaborations. And ultimately, I think it's all about the message, it's about the communication, it's how we get our science across to the users and society in general. So on that note, and I'll hand over to Flo in just a minute, but on that note, we are sort of quite keen to have some sort of communique or declaration that comes from this meeting. I know we see a lot of them these days. The SCAR Biology have just met and SUS have just met, but we're seeing unprecedented changes happening right now in the in the polar regions and in the Antarctic in particular, the sea ice. And so we'd like you to think about, and we'll be thinking about it over the week, how we put together some sort of statement that will work with the media to deliver as an output of this conference, which is perhaps a declaration on the urgency, on how fast things are changing, what the key questions are the scientific community is working on, and this group is working on, and why they matter from a policy action point of view. So that's that's one of the outputs that we'll be looking at. Now, before I hand over to Flo, you'll see a local organising committee there, which has one name on it, and that's Florence Colleoni. She has done an incredible job, and she's going to receive a lot of thanks this week. But you know, we are the co-chiefs of Instant, but Florence is absolutely the person who's been behind all this, and I want to acknowledge that because it's very difficult from the far side of the world to feel like you're doing anything really useful except, you know, giving you a little bit of moral support. So thank you, Flo, and also acknowledge the scientific committee. I think we've pulled together a really great program, and thanks for the effort that went into that from those people. And Flo, over to you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Thank you very much. So we thought that in addition to doing very serious science, we should also put some strong action and representing every topics in order to also stress the emergencies and try to converge in this statement Tim was trying to mention before. Could you give me the pointer, please? I'll give you the yeah, sure. So first of all, I would like, and we would like to thank you, thanks all our sponsors that mostly supported some of the conference logistics, but mostly early career venue here. And I think we are happy to say that we have funded partly for more than 40 early careers venue here. So Instant program is for early careers because we are forming next generation. So it was very important to have a very strong population of ECR. So there are more than 40, of course. But thank you for your generous contribution that helps us to make them come here. Well, we have a bunch of very nice speakers this week that we convinced to come to Trieste. I mean, cross through the storms, hails, fires, and unfortunately all this extreme weather climate event that we are undertaking in all our countries. Actually, it's not only Europe, Mediterranean, but it's all over the world now. So this emergency is in every component of our climate system. So I'm very proud and very thankful to all the speakers that came to really share their research this week. And the last day, as Tim said, is a really dedicated day, a mini symposium within the conference, dedicated to how we link the science with the policy, but not only the policy, also population. That's very important now because policy is efficient to a certain level, and we need also to connect more with populations. So, a few words about the conference organization, because yeah, I know the format is not usual, but what we wanted to do with this conference was to optimize the discussion time amongst all the groups, not only within your groups, but really share the discussion between each groups. So all the plenaries, we look here only on the morning, and then on the afternoon, it's workshops time. So you have seen the program, there are many things going on, also in parallel, but we have the feeling that most of the workshop topics are repeating over the weeks. So if you miss one workshop there, you will grab the ideas in another workshops in another day. So we are very excited because the workshop programs is very important. Everything is on the website. We didn't want it to have a 100-page program in PDF. At the end of the program, though, you find the list of all the posters, because, of course, we have a reduced number of oral on the morning, but most of the discussion will also occur on the posters. The intention with the poster is to, anytime you have some free time, you can just go and discuss your poster. So that's why we ask people to hang them from now. And then we have a formal poster session of 2 hours on the Tuesday evening with some beers and wine. So you can enjoy the discussion in the Instant Alley. Actually, this is how we baptized it somehow. And of course, there have been a lot of pre-conference meetings, and there are a lot of post-conference meetings, including the SCARX community that will come here to discuss about the SCAR strategy at some point. And well, on the Wednesday evening, there is the conference dinner. I know that there is a waiting list right now, so because we are already a lot of people, so they cannot handle much more. But if you are willing to still participate to the conference dinner, please go. There will be also a few surprises there, so stay tuned. Yeah, we have been trying to also organize some few excursions before. So I was happy to bring a few of you snorkeling in Muja over the Roman remains. And I didn't heard about how the snorkeling in the marine protected area that we have in Trieste went, but I guess it was okay. So now I would say, with this, I mean, I don't know if you have any questions about the organization. So Wi-Fi, you can find it at the entrance at the reception desk. The password is communicated there. We will take as much photo as we can this week because we want to document all your moments, the best and the worst. Because I guess through the weeks going, we will be a bit like falling down at some point. If you take some pictures, I will communicate to you a drive at some point. I would be very happy to get all the pictures somehow. And I think now we would like to introduce the theme of the first day, which is so atmosphere-ocean interaction. And so we thought that the beach is a perfect interface between atmosphere and ocean. So with that, we pass over to Stuart and Mitsuni for starting the first session of the morning. Thank you very much.
I've heard of passing the torch before, but thank you very much. Thank you, Tim and Flo. Right, welcome to the first section. I think we're all appropriately caffeinated. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Stuart Jameson from Durham University, and this is my co-chair.
I'm also chairperson for first session. Mutsumi Izuka. I'm a PhD student at Hokkaido University.
Thank you. And so we will just get underway. This morning, I guess for this whole morning, we really want to encourage you to be thinking about crossovers between the paleo and the modern in terms of the ice-ocean atmosphere interactions, okay? So watch the talks, get involved in the discussions, but please go and find those people after the talks and get involved in and think about what they're doing, have some discussions. In terms of running the session, and Mitsumi is particularly good at getting timings right. So we're going to be quite sharp on timing, okay? We're tight on time this morning. We've got two keynote speakers. They're going to talk for 25 minutes. And then when you see us stand up, that is time to stop, please, so that we've got time for questions. And if we're really jumping up and down, if we get to 30 minutes, there'll be no time for questions. We really want those questions. For those people who are doing the shorter talks, you have a 12-minute time slot. We'll be starting to jump up and down at 10 minutes, okay? So please, out of courtesy to all the other speakers, use your time carefully. Okay, I think that's all we need to say. So we shall invite, and I won't pass the hat on, our first speaker. Thank you. Our first speaker is Gisela Winkler, and